Your dog looks up at you. The inner corners of its eyebrows lift. Its eyes suddenly seem larger. You feel a quiet tug in your chest. Perhaps you reach for a treat. You assume the dog is simply feeling something, perhaps sadness or hope or love. But the real reason is far stranger. What is actually happening inside that small furrowed brow? That eyebrow raise is not an emotion. It is a precisely engineered muscle movement, a movement that did not exist in the wolf, a movement that evolved for a single purpose: to trick your brain. In 2019, researcher Juliane Kaminski published a startling discovery. She compared the facial muscles of dogs and wolves. She found something remarkable. In almost every dog, there is a thin strip of muscle above the eye. It is called the Levator Anguli Oculi Medialis, but you can think of it as the eyebrow-raising muscle. This muscle tugs the inner eyebrow upward. It makes the eye look bigger and more childlike. It creates that look you know so well. Wolves do not have this muscle. Or at most, they have a few scraggly fibers. They cannot make the same expression. So why did dogs develop something wolves lack? The answer lies in something called domestication syndrome. For thousands of years, humans have shaped dogs. Your ancestors selected the friendliest and tamest wolves. Over generations, these animals changed in unexpected ways. Their snouts shortened, their ears flopped, their coats developed white patches, their tails curled, and beneath the skin, their facial muscles rearranged. How is this connected to friendliness? A Russian geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev proved it in the 1950s. He started with wild silver foxes. He bred them based on just one trait: how calmly they approached a human hand. Within a few dozen generations, the foxes transformed. They developed floppy ears, curly tails, and splotchy coats. They even started to bark like dogs. Belyaev's work showed that selection for tameness unlocks a cascade that makes an animal look and act more juvenile. The eyebrow muscle is part of that cascade. But what happens when that muscle connects with a watching human? The effect is like a key turning in a lock. In the 1940s, an Austrian ethologist named Konrad Lorenz defined the baby schema: a set of infant features that trigger caregiving in adults. A large forehead, a small nose, big, widely spaced eyes. When you see these traits, your brain releases oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds a mother to her newborn. Your dog's raised eyebrow exaggerates the eye. It makes the eye look larger and more vulnerable. It hijacks that ancient circuit. You're not just seeing a dog asking for a treat. Your brain is reading a baby's face, and it compels you to respond. Could this really be an evolutionary strategy? Yes, and there's even more evidence. Dogs know when you are paying attention. In a 2017 study, Kaminski and her team set up a simple test. A human either faced the dog or turned away. Sometimes the human held food. Sometimes they did not. The dogs raised their eyebrows far more often when the human was looking. Even with food present, the expression dropped if the back was turned. What does this tell us? The eyebrow raise is not just an involuntary emotional leak. It is a targeted social signal. Your dog is aware that your gaze matters, and it adjusts its face to capture that gaze. Is this muscle truly unique, or are there other examples? Anatomist Anne Burroughs helped dissect the faces of dozens of dogs and wolves. The results were clear. A wolf's face is built for power and endurance. Its muscles are thick and efficient for hunting. The dog's face, by contrast, has been softened. Muscles have shifted from pure function to expression. The Levator Anguli Oculi Medialis is tiny. It connects the bony rim of the eye socket to the skin above the inner eyebrow. When it contracts, it pulls that skin upward and inward. The result is a face that reads as profoundly sad, or profoundly endearing, depending on your wiring. Wolves cannot form this look. Their inner eyebrow area is anchored by a different muscle, so a wolf will never give you the puppy dog eye. Why would nature waste energy on a muscle that does nothing for survival? Because in a human world, it is survival. This leads to a strange conclusion. Your dog did not just learn to make a sad face. It evolved a new muscle over thousands of years, a muscle that exists solely to communicate with you, not to bite, not to run, not to survive in the wild. Its only purpose is to manipulate your emotions, and it works flawlessly. Study after study confirms that humans prefer dogs with expressive eyebrows. Shelter dogs that raise their inner brows get adopted faster. That single expression can determine life or death for a dog. Over evolutionary time, that pressure sculpted the anatomy. So the muscle is a product of artificial selection, but the dogs themselves deploy it like a tool. What does that mean for the bond you share? It means the deception is a two-way street. Japanese researcher Miho Nagasawa discovered something remarkable in 2015. When a dog and its owner gaze into each other's eyes, both release oxytocin. In the dog, oxytocin levels can rise by over 130%. In the human, they can spike by 300%. This is the same chemical circuit that bonds lovers and mothers, and the starting trigger is often that lifted inner brow. The dog's face catches your eyes meet, and the oxytocin floods in. You are literally addicted to each other at a molecular level. The muscle set it all in motion. Does the dog understand the effect it has? No one knows for certain. Picture the scene that has played out in your home 1,000 times. Evening falls. The warm smell of dinner fills the room. A soft head presses against your knee. You look down. Those eyebrows are already arched. Your hand moves before you even decide. Perhaps you break off a tiny piece of bread, and the dog humbly accepts it. That exchange feels like love, and in a sense it is. But it is also the echo of an ancient pact. A pact written in muscle fiber and brain chemistry. Your dog's eyebrow raise is a claim on your care. Your response is a claim back. You are both caught in a loop running for 20,000 years. Is there any other animal that has such a specialized muscle for human communication? None found so far. Even the most domesticated cat does not possess a dedicated eyebrow engine. This is a uniquely dog innovation. It places the dog in an exclusive club, a club of species that have reshaped their own anatomy to connect with us. How did this journey begin? It began with a single step toward a campfire. Tens of thousands of years ago, wolves crept toward the edges of human camps. The boldest ones got scraps. The skittish ones got nothing. But among the bold, some had a tiny anatomical quirk, a slightly more mobile eyebrow. When they looked up, their eyes appeared a fraction larger. That human felt a flutter of something, maybe not pity, but a softening, and they threw an extra bone. That small difference over countless generations became your dog. The muscle grew stronger. The expression became more pronounced. The bond between your species deepened into something irreversible. Now look at the animal at your feet. It is the product of that ancient softening. Its eyebrow muscle is a living fossil of that first moment of connection. How often do you see it now? Every single day. So now, when your dog looks up at you from the rug, when the inner brows arch and the eyes widen, know that you are looking into a very old mirror, one that reflects your own deepest instincts. The dog learned how to work those instincts with a single muscle. A muscle that does not feed it or protect it or help it hunt. A muscle that only exists to speak to you. That small, sad, sweet face is the product of a million silent choices. Choices made by your ancestors and theirs. And it is still working on you right now. The raised eyebrow is a question honed over millennia, and your answer is already written in your nervous system. So go ahead, hand over the treat. Scratch behind the ears, look into those big, sad, beautiful eyes, and know that you have just been perfectly and lovingly deceived. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. There's much more to discover.